I'm Kyra Jefferson, and I'm on the clock with AAU.
So take us back to your AAU days. What are some lessons you learned during AAU that kind of still help you now in your professional career?
To ignore people when they're asking questions in the call room and they're trying to talk to you in the call room. They are literally trying to psych you out. Like, I don't know what it is about kids in the call room. They'll ask you like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, where are you from? Oh, yeah, I'm not feeling like running fast today. I don't feel well." And then you'll let it get into your mental, and then coming out the blocks, they're the first one out and they're winning the race. But back there, they were making it seem like that was it. They were gonna have a bad day. Like, so it just kind of like teaches you your like mental strength to like literally lock in and only focus on yourself, because it's a lot of kids in AAU, and it could be very distracting.
And while track is a team sport in the sense of that you guys are representing a club together, it is very individualistic. So how do you keep your mental strength up when you really are competing against yourself a lot?
I just kind of remind myself why we're doing it, like why I'm doing it. Like, I think the team aspect of it does help you to hold yourself accountable, but individually, you just want to do the best that you can do, and by you doing your best, it helps bring everyone else up with you. So I just kind of focus on just doing the best I can, and hopefully it's an example for somebody else.
And you ran for University of Florida. So how did AAU kind of help prepare you for that college level?
It taught me how to be a team player, honestly. Because when I was on AAU, I ran for Think Detroit PAL, which turned into TDP Elite, which now is Track Life University. And I ran for New Breed Track Club. And with those different groups, like, you interact with a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds. Even though we're all like centrally one family, we are different. And so coming to college, I was used to meeting different people, because with AAU, you meet a lot of different people when we travel, and you have to just learn how to adjust. And a lot of them become your family because we're all so similar, even though we all come from different places.
And speaking of, you guys do spend a lot of time together and traveling together and all of that. So, kind of, what would your advice be to young athletes on embracing other people that aren't from their background, different cultures, different genders, and kind of still being able to be that team morale?
I think it's just to make the most out of every situation that you encounter, because you may not be like that person, but you learn like good things and bad things from everyone. Like, I don't think anything in life is meant to not teach you something. So even if you encounter the most annoying person like in the world with AAU, like, it's meant to teach you something. You just have to look for the lessons and everything.
And congratulations, because I saw on Facebook that you did get added to the Gator Wall. So now you are a memory there forever. What did that moment feel like for you?
Actually, when I had my quarantine with COVID, that's when they actually finished the wall. So I had to hold it in, because I actually knew that it was up for like a week prior to, and I was just at home like, oh, I want to get back. I was like, I feel so cool, like, because, and plus I'm like the only girl of the past, I don't know, I'm just gonna say my era, that's up there. So I was just like, oh, I feel so honored that I just left my mark, and they didn't pick an ugly picture. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I was going to ask, did you have any say in the process of what picture they picked?
Oh, I have a favorite picture and they don't use it. They keep using that one. But my eyebrows are done in that picture and my hair's cute. So I was like, you know what? I have ugly pictures. They didn't pick an ugly one. I'm just going to be grateful.
We're going to let it slide this time.
Yeah, let's fly. It's a good picture.
And for those of us that aren't up to date with how you become a professional in the track and field world, it is different than a lot of the other sports. So what does it mean for you to have gone from AAU to college, and now you are sponsored by Nike?
It means a lot, honestly, because you see people like Allison Felix and Sonya Richards and the Justin Gatlins and the Aries Merritts when you're younger, when you're running AU, and you just, you kind of want their autograph. And then over time, you start realizing that you're just as capable as they are. So that transition to pro life was kind of like, wow, I used to look up to Allison. I mean, I still do, but I used to look up to her and Sonya Richards in a different way. And now it's kind of like we're all on like an equal playing field, and it's like it's an honor, but it's also like really humbling to see like you can really start from any type of stage. And AAU was like the best stage to start from because you literally like are put into the heat like with those competitions and traveling places. And the pro life is the same thing, it's just on like a higher scale. We don't have rounds, we just have one round to do. It's like finals, like automatically. No prelims, semis in most cases. And I don't know, it's a good experience and I love it, honestly.
So how did you get there? How did Nike approach you? Did you approach them? How did that process go?
So how it normally works is, for the most part, like everybody's situation is a little different, but I know what usually happens is you run at your national championships at NCAA's, and the sponsors like Nike, Adidas, New Balance, they're watching you well before you get to nationals. You just may not know they're watching you. And you get an agent and they kind of negotiate on your behalf to see what kind of money the sponsors are offering you. And then from there, usually like they'll give you an offer. You can accept or decline, depends on what your situation is. If you feel like you're worth 7 million and they're only offering 1, then you hold out. You do what you gotta do. But yeah, usually it comes like right after college. In some like rare cases, like like with Kaylin Whitney or Brianna, it'll come where you'll get sponsored out of high school. It's not very common, but it can happen. These sponsors, they're watching you like at a young age. Like if you're running fast at a young age, they see it. They just may not approach you depending on, a variety of factors like your longevity, whether you're the type of person that they think wants to go to college or, something like that. But yeah, usually it's like not very, very often that people who are already out of college get contracts unless you're just spectacular and you're just too good to deny.
And for you, kind of when that opportunity came on the table, was that your dream sponsor, or did you have other places that, when you were growing up in your career, you're like, oh, I really want them to ask me?
When I was younger, I really, really wanted to be sponsored by Nike. And then as I got older, I realized like whoever pays more, I'm okay with. Like if Skechers wanted to offer me money, I'd have been like, you know what, I could use some Heelys. Remember Heelys? I was like, I could use some Heelys, I could just, be that type of person. But no, when Nike offered me, I was like super excited because at the time, like I was already wearing like a lot of Nike stuff. I had already, unfortunately, bought thousands of dollars worth of Nike stuff. And I was like, I would hate to throw it away, but good thing I didn't have to, so.
Right? That's awesome. So do you have any advice for our young athletes currently going through the steps and competitions that you were in?
As far as like anxieties, I would say like just have fun. AAU is meant to have fun. It's meant to teach you how to be tough in different ways, but it's not meant to take the fun out of the sport. Honestly, I was not good at track when I first started. I was pretty much the worst person on my team, but everybody just liked me because I was just likable. I don't know, but I was slow. So don't ever feel like, you don't have room to improve or that you're just stuck at one level. Like anybody's moment can come at any time. Just have fun throughout the whole process, whether it's good or bad.
And I would be amiss if I did not talk about the 2015 Pan American and how you did there. Take me back to that year. What was that like? What does that mean in the longevity of your career?
That's kind of like when it all really kicked in and started for me. I had won nationals, I think indoor. I had got 4th at NCAA's outdoor. And I think I got like 5th at the US championships, which I was a little mad about, but whatever. I didn't even know what the Pan American Games was. And I found out I made it, and it was in Toronto, which was close to home, like kind of close to home. So I was like, ooh, people can come actually see me at my first like real big stage. It was very exciting. It gave me like Olympic vibes with like, we had a little village that we were at. You got to interact with different countries. Honestly, I did have to adjust with not having my coach with me. But no, it was like super fun. I was like beyond proud of myself because it was a big stage and I was technically officially a senior and not a junior competitor. So it was like really fun, and it meant a lot to actually get my first, world stage type of medal and then go back and win a gold medal in the 4x4, which I didn't want to even run in the first place. So it just all worked out. Like that's like making the most of every situation. I think I was supposed to be on the 4x1, but they were like, we heard you run 51, you split 51. And I was like, who told you that? Nope, nope. And then they were like, you're running the 4x4. And it ended up being like the most fun 4x4 I ever did, but still didn't want to do it.
So not a whole lot of 4x4s left in the rest of the career.
No, I'm actually, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm really good at the 400, especially in a relay. It's the lactic acid. You don't look forward to it, like, but the relay goes by so fast. It's fun when you're doing it. It's just the before you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. And then the after you feel it. Like I think I split, like, my best split was like 50 point, and I felt it immediately when I was done.
So let's get into that. How do you train? And then on the opposite of that, how do you recover?
So for training, I don't train like a normal sprinter would because I had a lot of hamstring injuries. So me and my coach, we kind of figured out my formula where I sprint, but I don't sprint as often as like other sprinters would. Like I sprint in different ways. I do a lot of things in my flats, but I do them fast versus doing a lot of things in my spikes. And if I do them in my spikes, I'll do them like, let's say a Tuesday, I'll do a spike workout and I won't do any type of sprinting for the rest of the week. But the Tuesday would be like a really, really excellent quality day. And then for recovering prior to COVID, because we have to redo all of our stuff now, but before COVID, I would go to the chiropractor on Monday to start my week off right, because get all my little cracks out from the weekend. Then I would practice and I would do prehab with one of the trainers at UF. Wednesdays, I would do acupuncture with my favorite acupuncturist who's in Gainesville. Thursday, I would also have rehab, or I may have rehab and treatment from my trainer. And then Fridays, if I was feeling really, really like sore, I would get a massage. And then Saturday and Sunday, I literally do nothing. I sleep. That's like, I didn't know that sleep was important until I realized I'm getting old, and my body was like, look, you don't go to sleep, we're gonna make you. You gotta go to bed. But yeah, that's my normal. Now let's take out some of those treatment days with the actual trainer. I just have to do a lot of things on my own now.
And I love that you said sleep, because a lot of our athletes have it hard pressed in their heads that it's go, go, go nonstop. Mm-hmm. But you have to rest, whether it's you take a day, you take 2 days, but there does have to be rest built into those training schedules. So I'm glad that you as a professional have said it. So, maybe it'll carry some weight now.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. I know I personally follow you on social media and you have a lot of health tips. You do your workouts and stuff, and they inspire me. So go ahead and tell our audience how to follow you on social media.
My Instagram is Kyra Jeff, KyraJeff, and my Twitter is a little spin on my name because somebody stole my original spelling. So it's KYRUH Jeff. And Facebook is Kyra Jefferson, and I have a foundation page, which is just Kyra Cares Foundation. Real simple, short, sweet, and to the point.
And speak on that just a little bit before we get off on your foundation and what that means to you.
Yeah, I started the foundation as a way to bring awareness that, like we've been talking about, like AAU and USA Track and Field, and just track allows you to be able to see outside of just your normal community and what you've experienced in your life. Like I know a lot of people I'm from Detroit. I know a lot of people who haven't been out of Michigan. Like the furthest they've been out of Michigan is like maybe Chicago or something like that. And so I wanted people to kind of know, like, football isn't the only sport that can let you go places. The basketball, which is very popular in Michigan, is not the only sport that can take you places. Like, you can experience a lot with track. And I mean, I've had coaches say, well, we don't recruit from Michigan because, we don't really get a lot of fast kids from up north. So that made me think, like, let me branch out and make this not just about Michigan. Even though my focal point is Detroit, it's more that people in the north region of this country can understand, like, you can run track. It's just because it's not popular where you are, you can do it. And so that's why I host the speed clinic every year, so that, I can come teach kids and they can learn from professionals like myself, the tricks and the trades of the field, and just kind of just get to ask all those questions I used to want to ask Allison Felix when I was like a kid.
And that is awesome. So I honestly want to say thank you for doing that, because a lot of it's just about networking and building those bridges. But until somebody decides to build the bridge, a lot of the times a lot of kids don't cross them and they miss out on opportunities. So that is just another avenue that our athletes can take. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. And I'm sure we will do another one of these as we get back into our track season. And hopefully you can come out to some meets.
Yes, I would love to. I've been trying. So we'll work it out this year.